Hey everyone, this is Martin, and I am up in the garden area today doing the episode on the creating sustainable income. And if you could hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. I'm not trying to sell you anything, so don't get worried about that. And I just want to continue on a little bit with a principle today, and rather than an actual income producing activity. And if you've been watching the videos, you know that I've been trying to break them up about half and half between actual income producing activities and the important principles that go behind that that help make those things successful. And two of the most important principles is creating passive sources of income rather than dynamic or active sources of income that you actually have to punch clock and be there to do, or put a lot of physical labor into. And the other one is to develop multiple sources of income. And along with that, you have to kind of start training your brain to think in a lot different terms of rather than just creating income, because most of us are raised under the mindset of get a job or put in labor or spend your time putting in time to exchange that for a paycheck. And in order to get passive or ongoing sources of income established that don't require you to be out there working day in and day out, you really have to start developing those multiple sources and independent passive kinds of income. And a lot of that comes with the changing of the mindset. So we're going to talk a little bit about a principle today, and that is one of making every day count. And when you say that, it's like, well, every day does count, but in a lot of ways, and I struggle with this, and my wife really struggles with this, and that is, if we're not out there putting labor into something, that it's not valid in terms of work. And that's a struggle that I've always had and still have, but yet you have to learn to overcome that a little bit. And as you begin to find those passive sources of income that you can stack one on top of the other to create multiple sources of income, you really do have to start to think that the validity of having and building that kind of an income is just as important as the physical work that you go out and the time that you put into, or mental work. I suppose if you like computer programming is not necessarily really physical, but you're putting your mental energy into it. You have to get outside of that to think that the things that you're building that create those ongoing sources of income are just as important as the things that you physically get out and do, like building a greenhouse platform here. And to discipline, and this really is a discipline thing. In order to discipline yourself to be able to achieve that, you really have to put value into the idea of building multiple sources of income, which means you got to find things that are able to generate income whether you're working or not. And so as you start thinking about that and you think make every day count, you really have to decide as you start building those sources. And we've got several videos. Go to the playlist on creating sustainable income, and you'll find lots of different options of things that we do and have done over the years that create ongoing sources of income that we don't have to touch anymore. Okay, but it took time to get them started and established. And if you can bring yourself to understand the importance of that, then you have to understand that you've got to dedicate a certain amount of your time to begin with to get them established. And if you can't do that, then you're never really going to break into that kind of a life where you do have multiple sources of income coming in. My wife brought home a check from the post office yesterday that represents several thousand dollars worth of income that we got just this past month that we did not have to leave this property to get. We did not have to put any energy into it or anything like that. And so that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. And then this morning I got an email notification that from our Amazon affiliate program that we received a bank deposit from that yesterday as well. So those are the kind of things you have to build up. So when I talk about You need to make every day count. You need to, as you start developing those things, you need to be able to be okay with dedicating a certain amount of time every day to making sure that that happens. Now, I don't care if that's 15 minutes a day or a half an hour a day or an hour a day or even 5 hours a day, whatever it takes to get those things started. Once you've kind of put your focus on some elements of income that you're planning to get, you need to develop enough time in your schedule to be able to devote at least a little bit of time every day. And the reason I say make every day count is that it's easy to get into the habit of, well, I didn't really do anything with that today, so I'll do it tomorrow. And then you get to tomorrow and it's like, well, I don't have time for that because I've got a greenhouse platform to build, so I'm not going to do it today. And you've got to break that habit. You've got to really establish a discipline in your life that you're going to dedicate some time to those income producing things that you don't have to continue to work for day in and day out and exchange your time for money on. It's important. If you don't do it, it will never happen. So just get in the habit, figure out how much time, and some days it may be 15 minutes and some days it may be 5 hours. On rainy days, a lot of times I will spend my time working on developing and enhancing those income producing things that I can turn around and walk away from that will continue to roll money. So, and it's not all about the money. It's about the fact that today is Monday. While a lot of people are going to work and grumbling because it's Monday and they got to go back to work, I just got a check picked up from the post office yesterday. And yeah, it was Sunday, but that's sometimes when we run by the post office and pick up our mail. So I got a check yesterday that basically covers my entire month and then some. Okay, so I can sit out here on Monday morning and play with my greenhouse platform. And does it sound like I'm obsessed with the greenhouse thing? No, it's just a project that we're working on right now. So anyway, I hope this helps. Don't be discouraged by the fact that sometimes we talk about principles instead of money-making activities, but those things are so important because if you don't apply the principles to it, you're never going to get the thing accomplished. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope you were encouraged by it. We're going to keep going on them. I don't know how long. I mean, the series has not been quite I guess important to people is what I thought it would be. So we may do a few more of them and then take a break. I mean, if you want me to keep going on them, just make sure to make a comment down below or something like that so that I know to just keep going with them. And anyway, so remember, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll catch you next time. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like and a share, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell. See you next time.